That's a great way to start a video. What's up, guys? Hope you guys are all doing well. Couple things. Zoom conference at 11:30, like always. Make sure we're hopping in, getting our questions answered. Those have been pretty productive lately, actually. I feel like we're doing some pretty good stuff in those. So join in. There's going to be some games with social studies next week, so more incentive to join. Make sure you're getting all your assignments done, turned in. Make sure you're checking your art and music classes. Okay, don't fall behind in those classes. I have emails from Seymour and Sizemore saying, hey, people are logging in, but they're not doing anything. Or, hey, we have people that haven't done anything yet. Make sure they know. So make sure you know. Okay, get your music and art done. We're going to go through 3 more chapters today. And then we're going to do 3 or 4 tomorrow to finish the book out. Done on Thursday. And then we're going to have an assignment on Friday with the novel, okay? I hope you guys are staying safe, though. Check your social studies homework. Get those economics notes taken and done. We're going to use them for an assignment later this week, so make sure you're getting those done, okay? Yeah, so let's just go ahead and get into it. Yesterday, Chase got cleared for the football team. Shosh is ticked off at Chase because she feels like it's her fault that what happened to Joel happened. Yeah, and Chase is really mad at himself. He doesn't want to be the old him, and he can't be the new him anymore. So he's like in this weird place where he's stuck and doesn't really know what to do. And that's kind of where we ended yesterday. Hold on. Miss Walkoff sent me a text. I have to check really quick. Cool. Cool. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and hop into this. Chapter 24 is from Brendan Espinosa's perspective. Kimberly's gone. I don't mean she's dead or anything drastic like that. She hasn't even moved away, just gone from my life. That time in the music room when she cared enough to help me out of the tuba when I was too slick with a fire extinguisher foam to get any traction, I really believed that I was starting to make some progress with her. But it turns out that was wishful thinking. In the end, she was just hanging around to be close to Chase. Now that he's kicked out, she stopped coming to meetings. From an artistic standpoint, that's probably a good thing. Now, she's back supporting the football team since Chase is on it again. She even watches practice sitting in the stands, her homework binder propped open on her lap. It makes me sad because that's the same thing she did at the video club. These days, the closest I ever get to her is when we happen to pass in the hall, and she looks like she's trying to remember where she knows me from. You'd think all that would make you really jealous of Chase, and it does, sort of. But the truth is, I probably miss Chase even more than I miss Kimberly. Video Club is useless without him. We might as well change the name to Club, because the creativity level in the room is basically 0. The others notice it too. It's pretty obvious when Miss DeLeo asks who's got footage to screen and nobody has squat. Even though our club is at a grinding halt, I have no sympathy for those guys. I can't get any of them to consider the possibility that Chase might be innocent. Or maybe they're right and I'm the moron. Chase didn't hesitate to lie about what happened in the music room and blame everything on the electrical cables. Whatever he did or didn't do to Joel and One Man Band was just as bad as Neanderthal pals in that way. But he was our friend. I refuse to believe he was faking that. He was a good club member, maybe the best. We worked shoulder to shoulder with Shoshana on Warrior, which is the greatest thing we've ever produced. She should at least have taken all that time to listen to his side of the story, if there is such a thing. Anyway, she didn't, and neither did Hugo or Mauricia or Barton or even me. We were fine to benefit from his talent when he was with us, but we never really believed that he wasn't the Chase Ambrose we used to know. And the first time something went wrong, we dropped him like a hot potato. The whole thing depresses me to the point where I almost want to quit Video Club, but I'm the president. If I leave, it'll fall apart for sure. No, it's up to me to jumpstart my fellow vidiots. Even though they don't deserve it, I'm going to make a video, any video, just to get our creative juices floating again. Unfortunately, I have 0 ideas. That's how blocked this Chase business has made everybody. So I take a walk up and down the street just for a change of scenery, and I see it. There's a big fat slug that's been climbing the stucco side of our house for the past day and a half. He's not making a heck of a lot of progress. He's only the third of the way up after all that time, which means he's averaging, by my calculations, 15 feet per week. But you have to admire the little guy's spirit. He's absolutely determined to get where he's going, which is the roof, I guess. I don't know what's up there for him. That's his problem, not mine. I decide to film his journey, inch by inch, up the side, defying gravity. I call it Slugfest, or maybe something lofty and inspirational like The Ascent. Then, in editing, I can add the commentary like he's pushing for the summit of Everest, or maybe play-by-play from the Indy 500. That would be kind of funny. Sportscasters raving about speed and acceleration and afterburners while he's millimetering along. Okay, it's no Leaf Man, but hopefully it'll get the video club going again. Take the flip cam out of my backpack. I always bring one home in case inspiration strikes, and mount it on my tripod. That way I can shoot hours of video without having to cool my heels watching nothing happen. Outside, I arranged the whole setup on our sidewalk with the camera pointing it up so the slug is dead center of the frame. It's not as if he's going to zoom out of the picture anytime soon. Not unless someone straps a tiny booster rocket onto his butt or whatever slugs have back there. I press the record button and nothing happens. No pulsing green light to indicate filming. Weird. We recharge the camera batteries every day. I try it again. Still nothing. That's when I notice the message flashing on the viewfinder. Memory full. That's impossible. Club rules say you have to download your footage onto a computer or a memory stick so we can wipe the camera for the next user. Mr. Leo is a real tyrant about it. How did this one get missed? And if the memory's full, what's on it? I press the play button. The first thing I hear out of the flip cam's tiny speakers is a high-octane full orchestra rendition of For He's a Jolly Good Fellow. Then I see myself in a dark suit and bow tie on band risers in front of the green screen. I'm in a chair with a clarinet in my hands, pretending to play along with fast-paced music. As I watch, transfixed, clarinet Brendan disappears to be replaced in a jump cut by another version of myself, sitting in the same chair a few feet away. This time I've got a violin, and I'm fiddling like mad and furious this time with the song. That goes on for a little while, and then just as suddenly, I'm seated at a drum set on the highest riser, my arms just a blur. It hits me. This is one-man band. I must have started the camera, and in all the excitement, I never switched it off. Come to think of it, I never turned in the camera that afternoon. Kimberly did it for me while I was in the bathroom trying to clean up my suit, which is hemorrhaging shoe polish all over the school. And Kimberly, being Kimberly, she didn't know the rule about wiping the memory. She just put the camera back on the shelf. Amazing, I thought. One-man band was gone forever, and here it is on the flip cam, ready to be cut into my greatest video ever. Obviously. I won't ever be able to use the tuba part, because that's when we got attacked and the whole shoot got busted up. After all, my band can't feature a tuba player who gets slimed with foam and trapped in his own instrument. But the rest of it, breathlessly, I fast forward. It's all okay. Better than okay. This could be my first YouTube video to hit the big time. Scan right to the end and it's all there. Aaron and Bear raiding the room to shoot, Kimberly running out to get Chase, and finally the tug-of-war between him and Bear with the fire extinguisher. Even over the loud music, you can actually hear the whack when the heavy metal casing smashes Joel in the eye. I winced a little at that. No wonder half the poor guy's face is black and blue. That had to hurt. It still does, I bet. Also, and this is important, no smoke, no fire, no reason to fill the room with foam. Not that I ever took that story seriously. Still, it's nice to have hard evidence. Evidence. I'm wrapped up in reliving it that it takes a few seconds to realize that I'm looking at something monumentally important. All the craziness in the room happened so fast that it was impossible to process it. But here's a visual record that I can watch over and over again to catch every detail. So I back up the clip to the moment Chase bursts into the scene and run it in super slow-mo. He looks shocked. If he planned this, he has to be the greatest actor in the world. When Bear hands him the fire extinguisher, he takes it, but he just stands there holding it as if he has no idea what it is or why he has it. He never fires it or even holds it upright. It's like he's in a daze, until Bear tries to grab the thing back. Then Chase wakes up and the struggle is to keep it away from Bear, and when he pulls it free and swings it back, it hits Joel. Pure accident. Maybe afterward he helped Aaron and Bear cover up what they did, but that video proves that Chase was trying to stop the attack, not join in. I'm practically bursting out of my skin with excitement. I want to run in 15 different directions to spread the word far and wide. Who should I tell first? Chase? Mr. Leo? Dr. Fitzwallace? It's more than just about the video club. It's about justice. And don't forget about Joel himself. He shouldn't be allowed to go on thinking that Chase still has it out for him. And Shoshana, she's a nice person and a great idiot, but let's face it, right now she'd burn Chase at the strike if she thought she could get away with it. So, she needs to know that what really happened. All the idiots do. I frown. It's the weekend. None of us will be at school until Monday. This has to be done right. The school can wait, but the video club could see this footage. It's more than just evidence. It'll be nothing less than a demonstration of the power of moving image to change hearts and minds. Who's better than the president of the video club to make it happen? I take out my phone and compose a text to Chase, Shoshana, and Joel. Urgent. Come to my house 10 a.m. tomorrow. There's something important you have to see. P.S. I'm not trying to rope you into helping with another YouTube video. After some agonizing soul searching, I send the same text to Kimberly, but add the line that says, P.S. Chase is going to be there. Okay, I want to see her again. Sue me. Alright, chapter 25, Chase Ambrose. There's something important you have to see. I stare at Brendan's text on my phone. What's the big deal he needs to show me? Probably nothing. Chances are he really is trying to just rope me into helping with a new YouTube video, although he says that's not it. I don't care. The fact that he texted me at all is something. I haven't heard a peep from any of the video kids since that day in the music room. Who can blame them? They all heard how I lied about the electrical fire, and they don't even know about the really bad thing I did. To be honest, I'd give anything to be a part of Brendan's goofball videos again. They're always hilarious, and I could use a good laugh right now. I can't remember the last time I laughed. Nothing has been funny lately, and the most unfunny part is what I just found out about myself. Yeah, Aaron and Bear are jerks, my dad's pushy, and the video club has turned on me, but I'm worse than all of them. I'm a criminal, and the fact that I don't remember it doesn't change what I did. How could I do such a thing? It's a question that doesn't need answering. I didn't do it. The old me did. And it's no mystery that the old me is capable of some pretty awful stuff. I stole Mr. Solway's Medal of Honor from his room at Portland Street. One sleazy act of many, courtesy of Chase, Aaron, and Bear. I have no idea what I plan to do with it. Sell it, probably, and split the money with my two accomplices. But that little plan went sour when I stashed it somewhere, and then went and got amnesia and couldn't remember my hiding place. No wonder Aaron and Bear were so suspicious of me. They thought I was holding on to them so I could keep the profit for myself. And the worst part is that I can't even give the medal back to Mr. Solway because I have absolutely no idea what I did with it. And I don't know how to find out. Maybe it'll come back to me in bits and pieces like some of my past. But when? It could take years. What if Mr. Solway dies in the meantime? How will I ever make it right? It's funny. The idea of going back to Brendan's house stings, even though I've only been there once before. When I had the accident, I never longed for my old life because I couldn't remember it. But my new life, video club, and my new friends, losing that hurts a lot. Since this time I know what I'm missing. And it hurts twice as much because of how quick those guys were to turn against me. Maybe that means we were never really friends, even though I thought we were. My partnership with Shoshana felt that way for sure. When the two of us were working side by side, interviewing Mr. Solway and editing Warrior, I was positive that we were creating something amazing together. All the kids in video club were finally starting to trust me. Even Joel was kind of warming up to me, or so I thought. I must have been nuts. In the end, that's why I decided to go to Brendan's. If he's reaching out to me, that's a good thing. I leave the house and step into a beehive of activity. Boxes and furniture are scattered all over the lawn next door. 4 big guys are loading everything into a moving truck. That's right, the Tottenhams are moving today. Supposedly, they're really nice neighbors who were great to Johnny and me growing up. Mom is sad that they're moving. I have no clue, of course. When you've got amnesia, it's hard to relearn the important people in your life. You tend to lose the crowd on the fringes. I'm cutting across the grass in the direction of Brendan's house when 2 of the movers step out of the front carrying a large framed painting. I gasp for a second, forget to breathe. It's her. The little girl in the blue dress, trimmed in white lace. My only memory that stuck with me through the accident. I think about the hours I spent agonizing over the image, where it came from, and whether I might have hallucinated the whole thing. But no, Here she is, the same red ribbon and her blonde hair. I see the details that aren't in my memory, like she's standing in a garden surrounded by flowers, and there's a little watering can in her hand. I didn't imagine her at all. I remembered her from the painting in my neighbor's house. I ran over to Miss Tottenham, who's wringing her hands over the handling of a carton marked "Super Fragile." "That painting!" I exclaimed, my voice hoarse. "Did you ever show it to me?" "Oh, hello, Chase," she chuckles. "That's just a reproduction, of course. An original Renoir would be worth tens of thousands of millions of dollars." I read that wrong. An original Renoir would be worth tens of millions of dollars. "Yeah, okay," I say breathlessly, "but why do I know it? Did I ever see it in your place?" "I don't think so, dear," she tells me. "It was hanging in the upstairs solarium." I follow her, pointing her finger to the glass in the sunroom on the second floor of the house. So I didn't see it, but I did. How else could it be the only image to make the trip through my shattered memory? My eyes travel from the Tottenham home to ours next door. Could I have looked inside their solarium from one of our upstairs windows? No way. The entrance to our house is around the corner, facing away from theirs. Our dormer is in the front. The sunroom faces nothing but a chimney and some sloped shingles. The only way to see the painting from our place would be to climb on top of the roof and peer over and peek down into the huge glass window. And suddenly, I just know. I run back inside, tear up the stairs to my bedroom, and step out onto the perch that was so much part of my old life. I start to climb my rubber-soled sneakers, clinging to the roof shingles. The dormer, which houses my room, is beside me, but that leaves a sloped path about 3 feet wide leading straight up to the top. As comfortable as I am on the section of the roof right outside the window, the steep slog to the peak is another ballgame. The grade is sharp, and the higher I go, the clearer the image of exactly what must have happened over the summer becomes, and how far I must have fallen. The ground seems so distant it could be in another zip code. I'm amazed I didn't dash my brains out on the grass. I get my hands and knees, and my ascent becomes a crawl. I feel a little more secure this way, especially as I'm near the apex, where I can use my right arm to cling to the dormer. I'm pretty scared, but I'm even more determined to get up there. For me to remember this little girl in blue, she must have been the last thing I saw before the accident. That makes sense, since the roof is the only place I could have seen her from. I can't explain it, but I'm positive the key to what happened lies a few feet ahead. I stretch out my arm, get a grip on the top of the A-frame, and haul myself up to gaze down at the Tottenham's house. There it is, the floor-to-ceiling window of the sunroom. I can even make out a large faded rectangle on the wall where the picture must have hung. Okay, I think this is where I was when I fell, but it still doesn't answer the big question. Why did I come up here? Was I spying on the Tottenhams in their sunroom? I was rotten enough, but why would I care what they were doing? Besides, according to Mom, we were friends. I could have just knocked on their door. Why bother to climb halfway to the moon? Frustration wells up in me, mingling with my disappointment. So the little girl in the blue dress tells me where I fell from, but that's it. As I inch away from the peak, I extend my right arm, steadying myself against the cedar shakes of the side of the dormer. No sense in repeating my swan dive off the roof, although it's no more than I deserve. I almost slip as one of the shakes pulls away. A terrified gasp escapes me as I slide a little before stopping my descent with my feet. I hang like a fly on the wall while the racing of my pulse returns to normal. That's when I catch a glimpse of blue behind the dull brown of loose shake. There's something back there, wedged in between the loose wood. I know what it is even before I reach for it. My hand closes in on the silky blue ribbon, and as I draw it out, I feel the weight of the military decoration attached to it. The gold five-pointed star catches briefly on some insulation, and there it is, Mr. Solway's Medal of Honor, stolen, hidden, forgotten, and discovered again. Then, as if finding the medal has unclogged a drain, the memory of my accident pours back into me. It starts at the apex of the roof, with me gloating over the brilliance of my hiding place while peering down through the sunroom window at Mr. Tottenham next door. He's in a lotus position on the floor, performing awkward yoga in front of the painting of the girl in blue. That's what does me in. The hilarious sight of my overweight neighbor twisted into a pretzel, looking like a giant mutant lemon, in his skin-tight fluorescent yellow workout suit. I let go for just a second, reaching for my phone to get a picture of this one-man comedy routine, and the next thing I know, I'm skidding down the roof, the rectangular pattern of the shingles becoming a blur as I pick up speed. I claw madly at the slope, desperate for a handful or a foothold, anything to stop my descent. It's no use. My momentum is too much. I'm falling. When I hit the eaves, I flip over a little, giving me a terrifying view of the yard. It screams up to me. I know dizzying and acceleration, and I brace for impact. But the memory ends there. I don't have to hit the ground a second time. That's how it happened. The mishap that turned my entire life upside down and almost kills me. Serves me right for snooping on poor Mr. Tottenham. How's it my business if he wants to do yoga in form-fitting spandex? But that was the old Chase. Everything was his business because he said it was. What was I planning to do with that picture? If I'd managed to get the phone out of my pocket, show Aaron and Bear and the football team, post it on Facebook, print up 50 copies and plaster it all over town? I sigh. Who knows why that Chase did what he did? I should probably be more grateful. I don't have to be him anymore. The metal clutched tightly in my palm, I climbed down gingerly, carefully to keep both hands and feet on the roof at all times. My mind is whirling. Brendan's house will just have to wait. Nothing there can be as important as returning to its rightful owner. I have to see Mr. Solway. Near the eaves, I slide my butt to my window and throw my legs over the sill. Chase? Uh-oh. Mom, you promised you wouldn't ever go out on that roof ever again. Do I have to nail your window shut? I just blow past her. Sorry, Mom. I toss over my shoulder. Gotta go to Portland Street. I'm not finished yelling at you yet. Have you forgotten what happened to you last summer? Do you have amnesia about the amnesia? I run down the stairs calling, I'll explain later. In the kitchen, I snatch a soft dish towel off the drying rack and wrap it around the metal. I jam it in my pocket and blast out the door. Chapter 26. Joel Weber. My black eye doesn't hurt anymore, although I look like I lost a game of chicken with an Amtrak. Appearance-wise, the healing process must be worse than the bruise itself. It's when the swelling starts to go down that the new colors sprout up amid the black and blue. Purples, greens, yellows. Every time I catch my reflection, there's a whole different palette in the piece of modern art on my face. I saw a little bit of orange yesterday. I'm the only one in my family who finds the changing colors around my eyes so intriguing. In a weird way, it's easier on me. If I'm sick of looking at myself, all I have to do is stay away from mirrors. My parents don't have that option. When they see my black eye in any stage of its evolution, they're stricken with guilt. Maybe it was the wrong decision to bring you home, my father reflects sadly. Of course it wasn't wrong, I try to assure them. I hated Melton. But aren't you afraid that... My mother lets out a short, wheezing sob in C-sharp. It might be starting up again? Afraid. Sure I am. When Chase and Aaron and Bear were all over me last year, it was painful, humiliating, and downright scary. If you can't even ride your bike without a lacrosse stick sailing out of nowhere and sending you flying, life becomes impossible. You know it's not your fault. You know those guys are idiots, and yet you can't help thinking you somehow deserve it. That you might be just a teeny bit less worthy than everyone else. After all, how come no one is picking up any of them? But, as worried as I am about all that, I think what bothers me the most is how wrong I was about Chase. I honestly believed he'd changed, and I was starting to like the guy. It goes to show how mistaken a person can be. My parents' reaction is bad enough. My sister's is off the chain. Every change in the bruised topography of my face launches her into a new revenge fantasy about what she would do to Chase if I were in charge of the world. Some of these are so brutal and in some cases so downright gross that I have to cut her off. Come on, Shosh, I exclaim as the two of us head for Brendan's house on Sunday morning. Listen to yourself, like you'd ever put another human being through a wood chipper. I never said another human being, she replies evenly. I said alpha rat, and if you were paying attention, I said I'd feed him in feet first. That way he gets to watch his whole body. Enough, I interrupt. You wouldn't do that. Nobody would do that. The Spanish Inquisition didn't do that. Only because the wood chipper hadn't been invented yet, she tells me sullenly. Anyway, I sigh anxious to the subject. I wonder what Brendan wants. What do you think? She snarls, still in a bad mood. He has another stupid idea for a YouTube video, and we're the cast and crew. The text said that's not it, I remind her. Better not be, otherwise Brendan's going into the wood chipper. That's my sister. No problem's ever so small that she can't overreact to it. We start up to the Espinosa's front walk and come face to face with Kimberly. Oh, hi guys, she gives me a long, hard look. Your eye's better, she adds dubiously. I'm okay, I say quickly. I don't want Josh to nominate any more candidates for the wood chipper. You also got the text? My sister asks Kimberly. She nods. And Chase is coming too. What? Chase? Josh grabs my arm and starts dragging me back down the walk. Brendan explodes out of the front door and runs up to us. Where are you going? Chase Ambrose isn't coming anywhere near me or my brother, Josh she's. That's why I invited you. Chase is innocent. She keeps pulling me along. Well, not totally innocent, Brendan pleads. But he didn't hit Joel on purpose. He was just as blindsided as we were. I've got proof. What proof, I ask. One-man band, he exclaims. The video's revived, and it proves Chase was trying to stop Aaron and Bear. We're going home, Josh insists. Josh insists. You go home, I tell her. I'm staying. Here, she demands, with that guy coming over? This time I don't let her push me around. I want to know what happened. I have to see it for myself. And she tries to stay, and she stays too, probably because she thinks I need protection. A lot of guys would be embarrassed about that, but I'm at least a little bit grateful. At any minute, Chase is going to walk into Brendan's front door, and I can't predict how I'm going to feel about it. I've seen him around school here and there. Still, this will be the first time since the fire extinguisher incident that we'll be in the same room together. We establish ourselves on the living room couch, and Brendan sets up his computer on the coffee table. I transferred this from one of the flip cams, he exclaims. I brought it home to shoot something else, and this was on it. He puts out some snacks, and we settle in to wait for Chase. 20 minutes goes by, then we're up to half an hour. Kimberly is impatient, mostly because Chase is the only reason why she's here. Where is he? Brendan texts again. No answer. Well, what did you expect? Josh scoffs. He said he was coming, Brendan insists. He cares about as much about you as he cares about everyone except himself. 0. Face it. He blew you off. My sister stands up. Let's go, Joel. We've already wasted enough of our own lives, courtesy of Chase Ambrose. I turn to Brendan. Play the video. Chase can see it some other time. We fast forward through most of it, watching musician Brendan pop up all around the risers, playing different instruments for his own one-man band. He switches into a regular playback once the tube of cigarettes comes up. I feel my stomach muscles tense. As much as I've been bullied, I've never had the opportunity to actually watch it happen before. The impatient expression on Shasha's face is replaced by the one of intense concentration. I don't get it, Kimberly puts in. All I see is Brendan. Where's everyone else? You and Joel are there, but you're both out of frame, Brendan exclaims. Just keep watching. We hear Aaron and Bear fling the doors open. Even though they're off camera, the first thing we actually see are 2 jets of white foam that catch Brendan full in the face. He goes down, tuba and all. It would be funny if I didn't know what was coming next. When the streams of foam change direction to some target off-screen, I know I'm the one in the line of fire. There's a lot of yelling going on, and I hear my own voice in there with Brendan, Kimberly, and the 2 attackers. After a few more blasts of foam, Aaron and Bear step into the frame, appearing on the left side of the screen. The next part I remember all too well. Aaron and Bear tossing instruments all over the place and trashing the band room. I try to take on Aaron, but he shoves me down in the foam. It's hard to watch, but not as hard as I thought it would be. This is not who I am, I tell myself. It's just something that happened to me. Somehow, seeing it unfold in real time and high-definition video, I'm able to expand the fracas in the band room to include every rotten bullying thing that was ever done to me. And here I am, alive, undamaged. Well, except my eye. I've been victimized, but I don't have to let that define me as a victim. I'm back at home and back to myself. That's when Chase makes his appearance on the computer screen. He seems totally stunned by what he finds. Even when Bear thrusts the fire extinguishers in his arms, I sit forward eagerly, because that's my fire extinguisher, the one that's about to bash me in the eye. As I watch Chase and Bear struggling over the shiny metal cylinder, I tense, knowing it's coming any second. I'm following the combatants, checking for the high sign, the nod of acknowledgement that shows that the three are in cahoots, and it's time to clobber the kid that got them on community service. It doesn't come. Chase wins tug of war and my face gets in the way. That's what happens. Brendan pushes pause on the video. An accident, he says triumphantly. I agree, I tell him. Wow, Chase must be really strong. Is that what Kimberly gets out of this? Shasha's cheeks are bright red as she digests the truth. My sister judges everything and everybody so harshly that when her judgment falls on herself, it's like the end of the world. He still lied, she says, tight-lipped. He's not perfect, Brendan agrees, but think of the trouble he would have been facing if he'd gotten blamed for all that. If it was you and you saw the easy way out, wouldn't you take it? Shasha's stubborn. I wouldn't be in a mess like that because I don't hang around with pond scum. I look at her. We have to at least talk to him. I'm expecting more of an argument, but she nods, and I can think of plenty of things to say. One of those things should be, I'm sorry, Brendan puts in pointedly. She glares at him. We'll see, but if it is, it'll be the last item on the list. Where is Chase? Kimberly asks in annoyance. Brendan, you said he was going to be here. Brendan is already on the phone talking with Miss Ambrose. He frowns, thanks her, and hangs up. According to his mom, he's on his way to Portland Street. She said he was in a real hurry. Did he forget to come, I ask? Brendan shakes his head. He said he'd be here. He just texted a couple hours ago. Josh stands up. Let's go to Portland Street. That's the end of today, y'all. Make sure to answer all the questions. Input, output needs to be done. And make sure you are writing at least 2 to 3 sentences on every answer. Please, please, please. Okay? Have a good day. We'll finish this up tomorrow.